Welcome to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ, offering support for those who care for a loved one. A show that cares about you and supports and encourages you, the caregiver. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Good morning, everyone. I am Kim Linder, your host of the Caregiver Hour radio show. I'm so excited about being here. It's another year. Wow. So it's new year, new you. And, maybe you like the old you. Maybe you like the way you do things. Maybe you've taken all those years of new you and you love it. Maybe you're at your best. And I hope you are. I know that there's parts of me that are at my best, but there are also parts that do need improvement. And I'm so looking forward to the new year, new you. And for caregivers, it's about also connecting to resources. This show is about empowering you. Having that information, having that guidance, having those connections to help you really make this journey to be worthwhile, to have purpose to it, to, maybe lessen the load, not feel so isolated, not feel so stressed. This show is your aha moment. It's your place to come to when you're just so stressed and you just feel like, I can't even put my shoes on. I can't even get out of bed. You can tune into us anytime. We are available 24/7. And, we're live every Monday from 11 a.m. till noon. But we're on that website, thecaregiverhour.com, 24/7. And now you can see us. Not just hear us, but see us. And we are a great group of people, and I bring only the best experts in front of you. That way, when you're looking for a home care agency, you're looking for a nonprofit company that's going to help you find resources, or you're looking for that elder law attorney for an adult daycare center or respite care, or even you're looking for mobility devices, you want to come to thecaregiverhour.com because I have my preferred list. And these are the people that I've checked out for you so that it makes it easy for you to make that decision. And I have some of those experts here today, and I'm so excited to have them. We have Patricia Henderson, Community Services Coordinator at Area Agency on Aging of Hillsborough. And this is her first time on the show, so we're very excited. And Jonathan Bowman, CEO at Harmony Home Health, who has been a great friend of mine for almost 10 years, and Linda Burhans, caregiver advocate at Harmony Home Health, also been a wonderful advocate for caregivers now, I would think, for the last 6 or 7 years. This woman has been a family caregiver to her mother, has authored a book, and now she is part of the Harmony Home Health team, and she is doing fabulous work out in our community. So you definitely want to tune in and hear what Linda has to say. But before we get on to the show, I just want to let you know you can connect with us on our social media, because a lot of people are now very social media savvy, and we want you to know that we're up there with you. And thank God to the Go agency who makes us really out there. We've got thousands and thousands of professional and family caregivers who connect with us every day, but also every week, who want to know about what's happening on the show. And then they listen to the show throughout the week on our website. So it's really going gangbusters. So we're very grateful. We've been on the show now for over 3.5 years, and we're just making such great strides. Caregivers are tough people. They kind of keep to themselves. They don't necessarily reach out. They kind of maybe suffer alone silently. And what we're here to do is bring you out. This is a new year, new you, for you to connect with all the resources, information, and guidance that's available for you 24/7. We have a helpline for you. If you're someone who's struggling as a caregiver and you don't know, what's my first step? I just got information that my mother has dementia. Where do I go with that information? You can come and we can help you. We have a helpline for you that's available 24/7. It's on our website, and there's actually a tab there that will be available for you called the helpline. But if you can't find it, it's also under our resources tab or our services tab. So it's very obvious of how to be in touch with us. But that toll-free number is 1-877 888-552-4950. That should be on your phone. That should be someplace at work. That should be in your car. That should be on your refrigerator. It should be anywhere where you go to because it's available 24/7. And I am the caregiver coach for you, but it also gives you the ability to connect directly with the experts, with other caregiver experts in many different categories that circle around the caregiver. So if you are someone who just got that diagnosed that your mother has dementia, or you got information that your mother was now found walking on McMullen Booth Road, and what do you do next? You need to call the helpline, because that's what we're here for, to help you. You also may be a caregiver who is taking care of a spouse, and your relationship is changing and you don't know how to deal with that. We can help you also on the Caregiver Hour. And many caregivers have reached out to the helpline, and they are so grateful. And that's going to be one of the people we're going to be talking about today when Linda Burhans is on, because that caregiver has contacted me. She's contacted another company for home health, and she's contacted Linda for the support group. So, she's feeling now, I've got a support group that helps me as like a team of people that help me through this journey. And she is very grateful. And we're going to talk a little more about that. So if you are a caregiver, if the first time you tuned into our show, we want you to stay connected to us. We want you to feel like we are that friend that doesn't judge you, that supports you. And we are here again 24/7. So I could tell I'm very excited about this New Year, New You, because I'm actually doing some new things. I joined a book club. Now, I love to read, but I don't always have time to read. And I figured if I join a book club, it's going to force me to read. So I'm very excited about it. I joined it at the Oxford Exchange. If any of you have never been to the Oxford Exchange in downtown Tampa, you want to go. This is a very cool hangout place. I went there for brunch with my family on Saturday. We had just a great time, and I highly recommend it. They've got great teas, coffees, very healthy food, and then also very delicious, maybe not so healthy food, but fun food around the holidays or a special event. But then they have this beautiful area where you could just hang out and have coffee with your friends. And then they have this other area where it's a book club. It's like a bookstore, but it's also like a library. If you wanted to pick out a book and sit down in a comfortable chair, you could do that. And for caregivers, this would be a perfect place to take a respite. Have someone take care of your loved one so that you can take this break. And this would be maybe for a cup of coffee. So maybe $5 you need to invest in having that hour for yourself, or a few hours. So anyway, when I said Oxford Exchange, I saw Jonathan's head go up and down. So obviously he's been there because he's always in the know. So I want to bring Jonathan Bowman, who is the CEO at Harmony Home Health, on to welcome you first time to the Caregiver Hour radio show.
Thanks, Kim. I'm really excited to be here.
You're very welcome.
And I have been to the Oxford Exchange. It's great.
It is great.
I'm the president of the Entrepreneurs Organization for Central Florida. We do a lot of our events there.
Do you really? Because I went upstairs to see the space, too. Did you see that space they have?
Yeah.
Is that
amazing.
Where you meet?
Uh-huh.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
So, of course, what starts to spin for me is doing an event there as well. So I'm glad that you know about it, and I know about it, too. Have you eaten there, too?
I have. They have great food. Yeah.
Great food.
Yeah.
All right. So that's right by the University of Tampa. It's across the street. So if anyone's looking for it, you can Google that, and you will not regret, because they also have shopping there. I did buy candles and crystals there, so I did some shopping with my family. So Jonathan, tell me, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Kim.
I'm so thrilled to have you here today, and
I can't believe I haven't been on yet.
I guess you just kind of maybe Melanie can go on,
That's right.
push everyone else.
Yeah,
So how did you get the short straw this time that you ended up on the show?
New year, new you. Time to try new things.
Okay,
so I'm excited
great.
to be here, and
Good.
2014 is going to be a great year for me.
Yeah, tell us about that. What's new for you?
Well, Melanie is pregnant, and she's
Melanie is his wife.
Melanie is my wife, and she's a social worker at Harmony Home Health, and we work together, and we've worked together for over 5 years now, which is pretty awesome. Yes. And she's expecting a baby girl, March 26th.
We know that. Woohoo! So that's great. So March 26th.
Yeah,
that's
started
wonderful.
Working on the nursery yesterday.
Oh, did you, Jonathan? Did you start painting, or what did you do?
We put a closet door up, moved a lot of furniture out, starting to get ready. Painting is next week or the week after.
Okay.
So.
That's what color?
It's going to be coral and cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like my
Got
Melanie.
a lot of nice stuff. We were in Destin for New Year's, so on a little baby moon. We picked up some nice.
Oh, that's
antiques.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific.
So
So how is Melanie doing?
she feels good.
Good.
She's had a pretty good pregnancy so far, although I think, she's just gotten into her third trimester now. Her back is hurting, her ribs are hurting, this is hurting. So hopefully
That's
it'll be
all
a good
normal.
luck. It's all normal.
Yes.
But she's doing great. Yeah.
That's terrific. Well, we know we also have picked out a name, right?
We have.
Can you reveal the name?
I can. It's going to be Julia.
Julia, that's beautiful.
Yeah, very excited about it.
So we're excited to hear what happened personally with you, but maybe when we can come back later in the show, you could talk about what's happening with Harmony Home Health.
I'd love to tell you all about it.
Well, we can't wait. So we are going to next have Patricia Henderson. She's the Community Services Coordinator at Area Agency on Aging of Hillsborough. And stay with us. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ.
Caregiving has gotten harder and more complicated, even as families have more and more demands on their time. That's why AARP is here to help caregivers with the tools, information, and support they need to care for their loved ones and themselves. Check out aarp.org/caregiving to connect with other caregivers like yourself and find the resources you need. Visit the AARP Caregiver Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Injured in a car accident or suffering from back and joint pain for a while? Clearly, you need to see a doctor. Call Dr. Ben, a chiropractor with 25 years experience. He listens, he cares, he gets results. His common sense approach? Coaching patients to be self-sufficient and less doctor dependent. Let's face it, there are many things you can do to improve your health. Call Dr. Ben at 727-488-8044. Mention the Caregiver Hour radio show for a free examination. 727-488-8044. Dr. Ben, your coach to better health. 727-488-8044.
Sometimes I know what I want to say, but just can't find the words.
Last week I shouted at my grandson, and I'm not sure why.
I saw my daughter, but couldn't remember her name.
The sooner you recognize the warning signs of Alzheimer's disease, the sooner you can do something about it. To learn more, go to alz.org/10signs. That's alz.org/10signs. A message from the Alzheimer's Association.
Caregiving can be an overwhelming and stressful experience. Aston Gardens, Tampa Bay's premier senior living community, is excited to be able to support those who care for others. Please join them the third Thursdays of the month at 5:30 p.m. to learn creative problem-solving techniques and caregiving ideas from others who have been in your shoes. Aston Gardens specializes in independent living, assisted living, and memory care. Chosen for the third year in a row by the U.S. Commerce Association for the Best of Tampa Bay Award in residential care. Call 813-855-2811 or visit astongardens.com for more info.
Your home is where you feel relaxed, safe, and secure. Arcadia Home Care understands that you want to maintain that freedom and independence, even though you may be recuperating from an injury, illness, or simply require a little support with daily activities of living. You create a plan for your life as you envision it, and you can rest assured Arcadia will provide companionship, personal care, housekeeping, shopping, and errands, or whatever you need. They deliver their services with compassion, dependability, and professionalism. Their caregivers are screened, bonded, and insured, and must meet rigorous hiring standards, so you are confident you're receiving the best care possible for you or your loved one. Visit ArcadiaHomeCare.com or call St. Petersburg at 727-579-9414 or Tampa at 813-651-1300 to schedule your free in-home assessment and learn how Arcadia can enhance your quality of life while helping you stay at home and healthier longer. Arcadia Home Care, providing quality services since 1978.
It's the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ with encouragement, guidance, and support for caregivers. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. If you just tuned in, you tuned into a fabulous show because this show is called New Year, New You. And, this is the time of year that we just kind of want to say, how do I want to make changes in my life? Well, for caregivers, it might be about knowing more wonderful resources that are available for you here in our community. And so I want to bring on Patricia Henderson, who is with the Area Agency on Aging of Hillsborough, and welcome you, Patricia, to the Caregiver Hour.
Thank you, Kim.
You're very welcome. You look beautiful in red. Red is a very good color for you.
Oh, thank you.
And those of you watching, you'll agree with me that she looks great in red. I wanted to know, Patricia, a little about your background, because we've seen each other in the community at events, but we haven't really had time to have a cup of coffee and get to know each other.
Well, I was born and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida. I spent most of my life in St. Petersburg, Florida. I Well, I appreciate your question. My background is varied. I have a background in education. I taught school for several years, do a lot of outreach with my job currently in education, currently working on my master's degree, and gone back to school.
That's great. What are you going back to school for?
Gerontology.
Gerontology. So you know now this is where you want to be.
Yes.
Isn't that great? Well, it's so great that you were able to teach as an educator in school, but now you've come out and now you're all over in our community. So that's a bigger audience for you.
Yes, it
and
is.
an older audience, I would think.
Yes.
Well, now I could see why you chose gerontology. So what school are you going to?
USF.
Of course you are. Okay, that's a great school to go to. Why don't we talk a little about your education? So how has it been for you to making the transition?
It has been a good transition. A lot of times midlife career changes can be really good.
Yes, and I'm focusing on this a bit because, Patricia, we have professional caregivers that listen to the show that kind of want to know what is my next step. And if it's a new year, new you, they may want to make that new step this year. And hearing your story may motivate them or spark that interest that, I think I want to talk to Patricia about that more because I've been thinking about that and I just have been afraid and maybe she can help me. So that's why I'm focusing on that because I want to help all types of caregivers that listen to the show.
Well, it is never too late to go in a new direction.
Okay, well, there you go. We got your inspiration for the new year, new you. But let's talk about the Area Agency on Aging. We, we're fans of it. Jonathan and Linda, we've all been part of Better Living for Seniors in the Pinellas County. But I've also become very friendly with the people over in Hillsborough, and they are too, now that they're in Hillsborough. So tell us a little about the agency and what resources are available for caregivers.
Well, one thing I want people to know is that there are area agencies throughout the country. So if someone is listening and has relatives in other states, that those are available as well. One of our main resources that we have available is our Elder Helpline. And our informational referral specialists know the questions to ask and then talk to someone on an individual basis to find the resources that fit their needs.
Right. And what is the number for that helpline?
It's 1-800-963-5337. Or also 1-800-96-ELDER.
Okay, so that's another phone number someone wants to have in their phone, in their car, on their refrigerator, and at work. You want to have this available even at the home where maybe you are caregiving. You just want to have this accessible for you.
Absolutely.
Because I've called the helpline myself, and I have found it to be extremely helpful. So that would be, again, let's repeat those numbers.
It's 1-800-96-ELDER or 1-800-963-5337.
Okay. So let's also now focus, besides the helpline, are there other benefits that caregivers can receive while connecting with the Area Agency on Aging?
Well, one of their programs, SHINE, or Serving Health Insurance Needs of Elders.
Okay, say that really slow for people who don't know what SHINE is.
Serving Health Insurance Needs of Elders.
Okay.
And it is a program that is affiliated with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and the Department of Elder Affairs. And they assist people who are new to Medicare or people who have been on Medicare for a long time with issues on their plans, billing issues, or how to enroll for the first time, as many caregivers this year will be reaching the age where they need to enroll in Medicare. And they can also assist with letting them know about some of the preventive services that Medicare now has available.
Okay, can you go into more depth into the preventative benefits?
And we know that caregivers neglect their own health many times, and we want them in this new year, new you to take care of themselves.
Right.
And now many preventive services are available through Medicare at no or very low cost.
Okay.
Every Medicare beneficiary has the ability to have a wellness exam once every 12 months. Depression screening is now free.
Wow.
Tobacco cessation counseling, nutrition counseling, many of the bone density, cancer screenings are available at low or no cost.
Wow. And all they need to do is call the helpline, or is that a different line?
Well, it's the same number to reach a SHINE counselor for more information on that. Or they can reach that information through Medicare.gov. All of the tests would need to be prescribed by a doctor, of course, and be medically necessary. but they are available. And many times we encourage people to take the list that is in their Medicare and You book.
So why don't we show the book? Because this is something that they could call and order.
Yes.
Or get online.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So make sure, did you show that in the camera so people can see that? That's great.
And
okay.
And there's a list of the preventive services that are available. And if they take that to their doctor with them, they
That's
can
smart.
have that conversation with their doctor.
I like that.
To see what they need and what might be useful to them to take control of their health.
Well, that is a lot of support for caregivers, and I'm glad that the Area Agency on Aging is recognizing how we need to support those caregivers.
Absolutely.
Really, those were very medically oriented, and I think that's really helpful. But the other piece where caregivers really want to be in touch with you is about the financial. How do they get some support or information about how to not just pay for those services that we were talking about, but maybe services for their loved one, Patricia? Am I asking you the right question?
You are asking the right question.
Good.
And it all starts again with our elder helpline.
Mm-hmm.
If they go through our information referral specialists, that conversation goes very deep and
Okay.
to find out what needs are available. And then they can subsequently be screened for any funded services that are available or private pay services that are available. And those specialists will talk to them about all of those programs. There are also programs that help pay for Medicare premiums that our Shine counselors can talk to them about.
Now, do the Shine counselors, now when you call the elder helpline, you're not necessarily speaking to a Shine counselor.
No.
So does that a separate phone call that someone calls them back, or they have to call again?
Someone will call them back.
Okay. Yeah, I try to give them as much information
Absolutely.
so the expectations are realistic. When someone does call the helpline and they don't get someone and they leave a message, what would be the time frame, the realistic time frame that someone will call someone back?
It's generally 1 to 2 days.
Okay. So for my caregivers that are listening, I think that, Patricia, you're bringing a wealth of information that really is about empowering the caregiver. But it's also letting you know that if you don't hear back from someone right away, just know that it's going to take 1 or 2 days. Okay,
Yes.
that makes a lot of sense. And how long will they stay on the phone with them? That's another question that I think about.
As long as they need to.
Wow, that's great.
Some of our calls, our office takes about 2,300 calls on our elder helpline every month. And some of those calls are very quick.
Yeah.
They just need a very quick
Right.
reference.
Right.
Some of those calls last an hour or more.
Okay,
It
I
just
would think
depends
so.
on what is needed.
Right. And then does a Shine counselor, once you speak to the Shine representative, does a Shine person come out to your home and do a further conversation with you and maybe their loved one?
Most of our Shine counseling takes place over the phone.
Okay.
They will meet them at a specified Shine counseling site.
Okay.
They will not go to their home.
Okay, so it's at the site. So they'd have, and is that all over the counties?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's really helpful. If anyone has any questions for Patricia, which you had a lot of information, I thought so, that was really helpful for caregivers, you're looking at you can call us toll free right now at 1-877-897-8255. We're going to have you come back at the end of the show, but next is going to be the Linda and Jonathan show from Harmony Home Health. I'm so excited. So stay with us. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ.
Hey, are you guys as psyched for this meeting as I am?
No, Mike, I'm not psyched for the quarterly sales meeting.
What? Well, I'm super psyched. It's gonna be awesome.
Mike is not usually a fan of meetings, but he is a football fan, and he just got a great deal on a new smartphone from AT&T. So he'll spend the seemingly endless hours of the meeting taking every chance he gets to get online and manage his fantasy team, watch highlights, and check stats.
This meeting is so long I have to order pizza.
Oh, no.
Yes! Oh, can this day get any better? Psyched!
AT&T. Rethink possible. AT&T reminds you to never text and drive. It can wait.
Now get the new Samsung Galaxy Mega with a 6.3-inch HD screen with multi-window view for no down payment, upgrade, or activation fee with AT&T Next. A new way to get a new smartphone every year. Visit store or att.com/next for details.
AT&T Next requires qualified credit, 20-month 0% APR installment agreement and wireless service. Tax due at sale. 1-year upgrade requires 12 monthly payments. Qualified trade-in and wireless service. Restrictions apply.
Hello, Melissa Ann. What? It's me, Barney, your computer here.
Seriously?
Yep.
Nobody calls me Melissa Ann.
Yeah, I know, but, well, we gotta talk. Did you know I can help you save money on your electric bill?
Really?
With Energy Planner from Tampa Electric.
What's that?
It's a cool interactive energy management program that puts savvy customers like you in control of your energy costs. Energy Planner gives you access to lower rates, which are available 87% of the time.
87% of the time?
Uh-huh. It's easy, it's free, and they'll even show you how we can make the most of it. Together.
Oh, Barney.
You and me, Melzy, and Tampa Electric.
Sweet.
Hey, why don't you guys out there call 813-275-3909 or visit tampaelectric.com/save to learn more about the free Energy Planner program. Only from Tampa Electric, the power to save you money.
Harassed by debt collectors? Visit forthepeople.com. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
This report brought to you by Robitussin. Cough and cold season is here. Control your cough with Robitussin, the #1 pharmacist recommended brand for cough, cold, and flu combinations. Don't suffer the consequences.
From Bright House Network's Traffic Center, some good news. They finally reopened all the travel lanes at that earlier accident scene southbound on 275 approaching Himes, but we're still backing up from about Floor, Nebraska. Still have the left lane blocked at an accident scene eastbound on I-4 around 50th Street. And expect a lot of extra traffic in Tarpon Springs today for the Epiphany celebration. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterick Hillsborough traffic tip line at 866-545-9595.
And here's our forecast. Mix of clouds and sunshine, breezy as that cold front moves in. We'll see temperatures start to drop during the afternoon hours. There is a chance of a shower, by the way. Tonight, much colder. Partly cloudy skies going down to about 35, give or take. It'll be cooler inland, a bit warmer at the beach. Tomorrow, Tuesday, partly cloudy. It'll seem like nighttime. Temperatures struggling to reach 50. 30s again Tuesday night. Right now, we're at around 65 degrees, give or take, around the bay. At 11:33, the Dow off 48, NASDAQ down 23, S&P 500 off by 5.5. 1250 wins, WHNZ.
The Caregiver Hour on 1250 wins, WHNZ. It's about taking care of yourself while you take care of others. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Caregiver Hour show. We're having a great show. It's a new year, new you. And it's helping caregivers connecting with resources, but also personally how we're making changes in our lives. I talked about joining a book club to kind of force me to read some great books. And I joined it at the Oxford Exchange down in downtown Tampa. But we want to welcome Jonathan Bowman back from the show. He kind of was at the top of the show. Now we're here in the meat of the show. He's the CEO at Harmony Home Health. So, Jonathan, welcome back.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Linda Burhans, you've been on the show before. I love when you're here. You're the caregiver advocate at Harmony Home Health, but you're also a caregiver advocate extraordinaire. You are just out in that community making such a difference for caregivers. So we're very grateful that you are part of our community, really.
Thanks, Kim. And I'd like to say to your listeners, so I am so joyful that you have tuned in today, because the Caregiver Hour is a place where you can receive information, resources, tools, and comfort. And that is what the caregivers need. So I appreciate you for that.
Thank you. Why don't we talk a little about just, new year, new you real quickly. What's happening? Jonathan talked about, Melanie, his wife is pregnant. We're all excited for the birth of this baby, Julia. But what about for you? What's happening for you, Linda?
Well, there's many things happening for me. I mean, the caregiver support groups are just expanding.
Yes.
Which has been a wonderful thing. In fact, one of your listeners came to a support group that I had on Saturday.
I'm so glad.
But when we're talking about this new you and this new year, many times caregivers think about what kind of resolutions or what kind of goals. But I suggest that first of all they sit down and take a piece of paper and write down what they've accomplished this past year, because they've been through hurdles, they've been through the trenches, and they've overcome. And once you do that, you can say, okay, well maybe we can face the new year.
Right,
now.
Exactly.
Because I am strong and I have, and like you said, caregivers are feisty.
Yes. And you know what? The bucket doesn't have to be empty.
Right.
Starting all over doesn't mean new year, new you, start all over. I love that idea about acknowledging your accomplishments.
Yeah, because
that energizes you.
Yeah, and it's a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
It's not a New Year's resolution.
Right.
It's a lifestyle change for caregivers to say, I'm going to spend some time for myself.
Well, we want to talk about that.
I've actually been reading a lot about that.
Tell us, Jonathan.
Especially with New Year's resolutions, people have really been saying, don't necessarily just set goals, establish a new routine. What habits are you going to create? So, if you want to lose some weight, I mean, for myself, I need to lose some weight, and it's about, instead of getting up and surfing the web in the morning, I'm going to get up and go for a walk or go to the gym, or just change your morning routine, and that's the best way to really make your criminal change.
Well, for you, Jonathan, that's a good thing, because soon you're going to have a baby and your whole life will change. So
you'll be running.
Yeah, routine. I love that. Exactly. Not a new resolution, but a new routine. Your life will change. So if you can kind of cement some of those routines now before the baby comes, you'll be in much better shape when it happens, because I could see Melanie here just say, okay, honey, take the baby. So, and it's a great stretch for you, Jonathan. I'm so proud of all the things that you have accomplished. And we do want to talk about caregiving, but we also want to talk about what's happening with Harmony Home Health this year. Do you have some things you would like to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Our listeners?
Well, 2013 was a fantastic year for Harmony Home Health, and kind of as Linda was saying, recognizing what you did accomplish this past year. Some of the things that we're really proud of is we were named one of the 100 fastest growing companies in Florida this past year, which was very exciting.
Fabulous.
We were also named Best of Home Care by Home Care Pulse, both as a provider and as an employer. The caregivers that we employ is a very important part of our business. We're really proud to have been named Best of Home Care for both. We also created a brand new website this year, www.harmonyhh.com, and it's a great resource for caregivers. Because of our high quality of care, we got ACHC accredited, which really puts us above and beyond our competition. And as you had alluded to earlier, we expanded into Harmony Home Health.
Yes.
Or it expanded to Hillsborough County this year.
Yes,
Which
so
we're
congratulations.
Really excited about. Thank you very much.
That's just terrific news, Jonathan. You are a pioneer, and we know you are a visionary, so that's terrific. Tell me a little about, going back to the entrepreneurial organization that you belong to, why don't you tell us a little about that in case there's someone else listening that may want to join? Yeah,
absolutely. So the Entrepreneurs Organization is for founders or majority shareholders of companies that have reached a certain level of success. And it's a peer organization where we get to sit around with our peers and talk about the best and worst of personal and professional life. There's a lot of challenges of being an entrepreneur, as you know.
Yes.
And it's really a sounding board for us. And it's an international organization with 10,000 members worldwide. It was actually started by Michael Dell 25 years ago. So
that's really great, because then I have dinner with you, and then I ask you, then we have our little mini meeting that I get to talk to you about, being a business owner.
And I remember 4 years ago sitting at lunch with you in St. Petersburg, and you tell me about your crazy idea to start a company, and look at you now.
Yeah, it's amazing. So thank you. So congratulations on a great 2013, and we only want 2014 to be even better for you, Jonathan.
Thank
you and your whole company and your team. Your team's expanded. Because I was there for November for Caregiver Month, and we just had a great time, and I could see all the people that were there. So this really brings me over to Linda. Linda, what would you like to share with our caregivers? I know one of our listeners called you, and then she actually spent time with you, which I am so grateful that you did that. Why don't we talk also about how you helped her get to a support group? Because there's a caregiver out there that's home alone, that's holding on, that doesn't want to go out there, and we're asking them to make this connection this year. So
because you know what happens with the caregivers? It's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to take care of my spouse, my mom, my dad. No, it takes a village.
Can you do that a little more dramatically so that people can hear and feel that?
Feel like
so
it's
watching,
my responsibility. You know, it is, and that's and you see it.
Yes,
I see it every single day.
Well, I was the same way.
Me too. But know that there's help out there.
Yeah.
I call it the AAA dilemma.
Okay.
Caregivers don't ask for help, don't accept help, and don't acknowledge themselves.
Yep, that's rough.
And I suggest that caregivers just take a little time to sit down and write a list of a few things that you can accept help with, because when someone approaches you, you're like, I don't have any idea. You can't even think straight. You're in that little tornado.
Yes.
So if they take time to write down a few things, then when their neighbor comes over and says, what can I do? You look at your list. Maybe you can mow my lawn. The neighbor goes, yeah, I want to mow your lawn. That's why they're asking you. They want to help you. Someone said to me after my mother passed away, Linda, how are you doing? And I said, I'm doing okay. And she said, I'm sick of hearing that from you. And I have to let you know that when you were caring for your mother, you stole my joy. And I said, I what? And she said, I could see you swimming in quicksand, and every time I asked if I could help you, you said, no, I'm okay. And that was like a profound moment.
I could see you saying that. I could see you doing that. And now the change, because
Right.
now you're helping people. And now you're allowing people to help you, Linda.
Yes, it's a two-way street.
Yes.
I'm still a caregiver. I'm
Yes.
a caregiver for children now, but it's
Right.
still a challenge.
But you help so many caregivers. I mean, all that energy and focus that you bring to every support group, you're there to help all those people. That's hundreds of people
Thank you.
every month.
Thank you. I
That you're
appreciate
touching.
that.
You're very welcome. And that's something for you to put on your acknowledgement list when you do it later today.
You know, I have to tell you, one woman came to one of the support groups and she emailed me a couple of weeks later and she said, I thought about what you said, Linda, and I made a list. And the only thing I put on my list, if anyone asks me, I say, if you can come over any afternoon between 2 and 4 and let me take a nap, I would be delighted. And her next words were, and I'm as pleased as punch to tell you that I'm now napping 7 days a week. And her
Wow.
husband is getting 7 different visitors that had stopped coming.
Wow, that had stopped coming.
So it's a two-way street.
Yes. So,
you know, you're taking care of your loved one 24/7, you know, maybe they need a little break from you too.
yeah, exactly. Oh, well, we never think that.
Oh, no.
Because we're super people.
Exactly.
We need to be there.
Exactly.
We only do it the right way, right? So I want to come back to Jonathan and talk about the company and really how you help so many caregivers and their loved ones in their homes or in different places where they are calling home. Can you give us a little idea of what's happening?
Yeah, absolutely. We are a private duty home health agency. We serve the entire Tampa Bay area. All of our employees are direct employees of our company, so we pay all their payroll taxes, all their workers' compensation insurance. We handle everything on the employment side to make it very easy for caregivers to arrange care, and we always guarantee that we have caregivers available and we do not miss shifts. That's something that's very important to us. And we can always help with things like meal preparation, transportation, errand services, activities of daily living, really anything that is needed for that person to remain at home or wherever that they call home.
Well, I know that when I moved my in-laws from New Jersey to the Tampa Bay area, it was Harmony that I had called, and that's because of our long-standing relationship, Jonathan. And, you know, you talked about 4 years, how you saw me starting my own company. I met you when you were just starting Harmony, and it's just so amazing to be here with you today and be talking like this on the radio. But I called you because my in-laws were living at an assisted living community. Beautiful place, had staff, but I wanted to make sure they were having more personal care inside their apartment, making just getting acclimated from being from New Jersey, living in their own home into a new setting. I felt they needed that extra support. And who did I call? I called Harmony. So I, again, just want to let you know that Harmony is there for you in any kind of incident. And even if you don't know, if you do need them, you want to reach out. And you can do that through the caregiverhour.com website because their link is there. But maybe, Jonathan, someone would like to call and get some more information. How do they do that?
They can give us a call at 727-723-7532, or again, they can visit our website, which is harmonyhh.com.
So we are going to come back after the break. It's one of my favorite parts. It's circling back to the caregiver. We're going to have Patricia on very quickly because she's got a success story about how the helpline helped a caregiver. And then we'll have Jonathan and Linda back on as well. So stay with us. If you have any questions, you can I chat us, which is great because my assistant Gail is right here and she's got the computer, so someone can chat us and ask us a question, and then we can answer it right on air. And we actually do have a question that we're going to be answering, so stay with us. There's so much more happening on the Caregiver Hour radio show. And now we are live web stream. The toll-free number here to call us with a question is 1-877-897-8255, or you can email us at kim@thecaregiverhour.com, or even do the iChat right on our website, thecaregiverhour.com. So much information to help you. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ.
If you or a loved one experience bladder control problems, here's important news.
For more than 5 years now, the nice ladies at the Caregiver Partnership have taken the time to understand my needs, suggest the best choices of bladder control products for me, and always get the right product delivered to my door fast and with free shipping.
To get started, simply call 800 800-985-1353 for your free catalog and $60 in coupons. Many people just like you trust the Caregiver Partnership for convenient home delivery of bladder control products, and they have more than 500 to choose from. Call now. The call is free, shipping is free, and your satisfaction is guaranteed.
The Caregiver Partnership treats me like family and really knows their stuff, and they keep my business private.
Call 1-800-985-1353 now to receive your free catalog with $60 in coupons. That's 1-800-985-1353. Call now. The voice in the preceding advertisement is not the voice of an actual customer.
We all know that life can change quickly, and when an elderly loved one suddenly needs in-home care, there's one trusted name you can count on at a moment's notice: Senior Helpers. Senior Helpers is a national leader in professional in-home senior care. They specialize in companionship, personal care, and even dementia care using their unique Senior GEMS approach. Find out how they can help you today. Call them at 727-210-1414. Senior Helpers, comfort and care at a moment's notice.
Enjoy life at the Barrington, Largo's premier senior community. The Barrington, the resort lifestyle you deserve at a price you can afford. Life at the Barrington is truly senior living at ease, complete with chef-prepared meals, an activities director, and transportation to your favorite spots. Independent and assisted living homes are available now by calling the Barrington at 727-217-5681. Call the Barrington at 727-217-5681 to schedule your tour of their pet-friendly senior community today.
Hi, it's Kim Linder from the Caregiver Hour. I want to tell you about an attorney in Clearwater that I have known for over 7 years. His name is Bill Rambaum, and I have referred many families to him for his legal expertise. Bill is one of less than 100 attorneys to be evaluated by the Florida Bar and become certified as a specialist in elder law. His 30 years of experience and impeccable credentials make him one of the most highly regarded legal experts in our area. Give Bill a call today at 727-781-5357 or visit rambaumlaw.com. Non-attorney spokesperson.
Family Caregivers, it's new and just for you. The Caregivers Resource Helpline, a free service brought to you by the Caregiver Hour radio show. If you've got questions about anything related to caregiving, you can call the helpline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Speak directly to dozens of caregiving experts on topics like what to do about caregiver burnout, how to best protect your family's assets, when to keep your loved one at home, or get assistance with a managed care facility, and much, much more. You can even speak to a caregiver coach. Call the Caregiver Resource Helpline today at 1-877-552-4950 to help you take the stress out of caregiving. It's the Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ with encouragement, guidance, and support for caregivers. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is Circling Back to the Caregiver because it's all about you. And we are so thrilled that you tuned in today. You can always listen to us on a podcast on our website, thecaregiverhour.com. We do have a section under the radio where you can listen to the show 24/7. But you also can see the show. We do the archive for the web live stream that will be available either later today or definitely by Tuesday. And you can watch that, share it with somebody else. Really contact us, again, always through the helpline, through our website. In fact, we just had a caregiver fill out the survey with a question and a concern. And we want to come back to that, and we're going to talk about that with Linda and Jonathan. But I really want to bring us back to Patricia, who's wearing this beautiful red sweater today. So, Patricia, we were going to talk a little about a success story and then how people can connect with you. Do you have a story you'd like to share with us?
I do. A quick story. And it goes to knowing the questions to ask.
Okay.
We had a gentleman call us one time, and he needed his lawn mowed. That's all he could focus on, was he needed his lawn mowed. And a very real need. But in asking the questions and having that conversation with him, we found out his real need was he needed food. He'd had a stroke recently. He could no longer drive. He needed someone to come in and help him with daily activities of daily living. And he needed to reconnect with his son, who was living in another state.
So I would say that was almost 5 major things that he needed, and he called you about the lawnmower. So this is very typical for caregivers, and Linda and I and Jonathan know that. And so I'm so happy that you were able to take the time to really dig deeper That was awesome.
And that's what our elder helpline specialists do.
I love it. And that's what we do as a caregiver coach. We do that, whether they call Harmony Home Health, whether they call William Rambam, whether they call me, we're all there to help them. And we take that because that's our heart. That is our heart. That's our spirit, our heart, our soul. And so I'm so happy that it carries right over to the Area Agency on Aging.
Absolutely.
How fortunate we are. And so many, and all of the United States, that it's there for you. And not a lot of people tune into that and connect with that resource. So that's a great success story. And why don't we tell people how they can connect with you?
They can call the Elder Helpline at 1-800-963-5337 or 1-800-96-ELDER.
Okay, that's great. Now, as I'm talking to you, my wonderful assistant someone has a question, has a comment. Okay, so Gail's shaking her head. Yes, I'm going to read this comment to you. It said someone who's listening to the live web or watching the live web stream said had the pleasure of talking with Kim on the phone the other week and meeting with Linda on the past Saturday. This is Karen Marks. And thank you both so much for the new world has opened up for me. So I'm getting chills right now that I just got that message. So Linda, thank you to all of us that we created that intention. Look what we've done. 4 years later, Jonathan, we've created this intention and how we've been able to touch so many people's lives. But this is someone who's actually written a note for both of us. So why don't we have you come on now and maybe talk a little about what Karen called about, because maybe that's Sarah, I'm so sorry, Sarah, that you called me and then you actually then connected with Linda Burhans, and you said you needed a support group, so this was the place for me to go to. So as we're on the show now, why don't we talk a little about the conversation you had with her, because there may be another caregiver out here who maybe needed the same conversation with you.
Well, it was great being with her and spending time with her.
You want to get close to the mic.
Sorry.
So you're going to share the mic with Jonathan.
How's about this? This
yes.
good?
Yeah.
It was great being with her and spending some time with her, especially since we had some one-on-one time, because it's difficult for caregivers to open up in a group, but when it's one-on-one, lots of times there's a better opportunity to say exactly what they're feeling.
Yes.
And one of the things that we discussed on Saturday was in creating a plan for your future. God forbid something else happens to the caregiver, because the caregiver always thinks nothing's going to happen to me. I'm fine. I'm this. But things can happen if we don't take time for ourselves, if we don't find out about the resources. And she was like furiously writing down notes. You know, I need to take care of this. I need to make an emergency plan, other information that I give out in my support groups or on the Harmony website. And it was just so fulfilling. I'm telling you, we laughed, we cried, we did a little happy dance even at one point.
Yeah, that's great.
And knowing that we've started a relationship where we can further discuss, where she can get ideas from other people in the group also. Because there are many times that I do support groups, I don't say much.
Right.
They just come in, they're like, this worked for me this week, and this worked for me, and it's great.
That's wonderful.
It's really great.
So, Sarah, I'm so sorry I called you Karen. I must be from another caregiver, so accept my apology. But thank you so much for reaching out to me a few weeks ago and then allowing me to help you connect with Harmony Home Health. And they have great services, so Linda's a wonderful representative. So why don't we talk a little more about another person who contacted me, and their biggest concern as a caregiver is the uncertainty of their mother's condition, because it goes up and down. And we know in the world of caregiving, that happens in an instant or happens over time, and I never know what to expect when I go to see her. So let's talk about that a little, because there's a few pieces to this before we close this show. I'd like to talk a little about that. She's always feeling like things are up and down and doesn't know what to expect.
Well, first of all, things many times are up and down.
Yes.
I have a feeling this might be a long-distance caregiver. I'm curious about that. If
we talked about that.
Now, because when she says about she's apprehensive before she goes to see her, sounds like she's not seeing her on a daily basis kind of thing.
Right.
If she is a long-distance caregiver, the best thing I could suggest is that she hooks up with someone that lives near her mother, whether it's in home health care agency, whether it's someone from the church, whether it's a neighbor, that she can have some kind of contact and know exactly what's happening with her mom. Because this is what mom's going to say, oh, I'm okay, baby. I'm just fine. Everything's good today. And she may not have eaten for 2 days.
Right, and we know that can happen. So again, as a caregiver, we would like for you to reach out to us. You can certainly call If you don't want to call us toll-free right now, but you certainly can, we're at 1-877-897-8255. And you can actually call after the show, and we will get your information because our producer will answer that and get that to us. If you want to reach out to us, to me, and have more of a conversation, you can call our helpline. It's 1-877-552-4950. And set up a call so that that'll be time for you to allow us to help you. Or you can call Harmony. Your number is?
727-723-7532.
Yeah, Harmony is definitely a good option in this incident because we want you to be able to get expert information about maybe having someone be looking at. So, Jonathan, this is a common scenario, I would think.
Absolutely, it is.
So why don't we help this caregiver? We've got about another minute and a half.
And we have a lot of resources to be able to help her. There is a couple things I did want to say before we ended the show. First of all, one of the things I missed in 2013 was Linda was actually awarded a Healthcare Hero Award for community outreach for all the work that she's done in the community.
Congratulations,
so I really want
Linda.
to commend her for all the work that she's done.
Yes.
Which is great. Also, 2014 is going to be our 10th year in business, so we're really excited. We're going to be celebrating all year. So our 10th year at Harmony Home Health. And lastly, today is my mother's birthday, so I wanted to wish my mom a happy birthday. It's also my Aunt Pam's birthday, and I'd like to wish her a happy birthday as well.
Mazel tov, all of you. So, Jonathan, what about this caregiver, though? I'm not sure what the it doesn't sound like there's she's not connecting with anyone. Like the doctor could be helpful. Maybe there is a neighbor that has can do a look-see and see what's happening with mom. But I feel like it's more because as I go further into this question, and this is her surveys, it leaves her emotionally and exhausted. And of course you are going to. That's very common. That's very natural that you would feel that way. But you need to reach out to us. We've given you Harmony's phone number, Harmony's website. We've given you the Caregiver Hour website. You're on my website. Connect with me. Send me a message directly so I can help you make those connections and help support you. Again, I am Kim Linder. I am thrilled to be here every Monday. We've got the podcast to help you listen to the show. We've got a newsletter to help energize you throughout the month. And we've got the show every week for you that you can listen 24/7. Just go to thecaregiverhour.com and we have that there for you. But we also have experts and wonderful sponsors who I have checked out and who are on the Kim's preferred list. So we are so thrilled to have all of our guests. Patricia Henderson, thank you so much. Please tell Patty we said hello from the Area Agency on Aging in Hillsborough. Linda Burhans, congratulations on your award. You deserve that. And Jonathan Bowman, all of you from Harmony Home Health, we thank all of that whole team. They are such an awesome group. And I look forward to being in touch with all of you. Just be in touch with us. And again, I'm here every Monday. I'm Kim Linder. You'll be touching base with me, I know, this week. Be well.
The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the preceding program are not those of WHNZ AM, its staff, management, or parent company, Clear Channel Communications Incorporated.
Family Care